Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, I'm going to read a little bit more in this nice little booklet here, Bhakti Yoga. And yesterday read the introduction. Today is the first little section of the book. It's called, What is, in quotes, the Nectar of Devotion? It's the title of a book. The Nectar of Devotion is a summary study of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which was written in Sanskrit by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. He was the chief of the 6 Goswamis, who were the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he first met Lord Chaitanya, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada was engaged as a minister in the Muslim government of Bengal, India. He and his brother, Sanatan, were then named Dabir Kas and Shakir Malik, respectively. And they held responsible posts as ministers of Nawab Hussain Shah. At that time, 500 years ago, the Hindu society was very rigid. And if a member of the Brahmin caste accepted a position of service under a Muslim ruler, he was at once rejected from Brahmin society. That was the position of the 2 brothers, Dabir Kas and Shakir Malik. They belonged to the highly situated Saraswat Brahmin community, but they were ostracized due to their acceptance of ministerial posts in the government of Hussain Shah. It is the grace of Lord Chaitanya that he accepted these 2 exalted personalities as his disciples and raised them to the position of Goswamis, the highest position of Brahminical culture. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya accepted Haridas Thakur as his disciple, although Haridas happened to be born of a Muslim family. And Lord Chaitanya later on made him the acharya of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya's principle is universal. Anyone who knows the science of Krishna consciousness and is engaged in the service of the Lord is accepted as being in a higher position than a person born in the family of a Brahmin. That the original principle accepted, that is the original principle accepted by all Vedic literatures, especially by the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The principle of Lord Chaitanya's movement in educating and elevating everyone to the exalted post of a Goswami is taught in the Nectar of Devotion. Lord Chaitanya met the 2 brothers, Dabir Kas and Shakir Malik, in a village known as Ramakeli, in the district of Malda. And after that meeting, the brothers decided to retire from the government service and join Lord Chaitanya. Dabir Kas, who was later to become a Rupa Goswami, retired from his post, collected all the money he had accumulated during his service. It is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that his accumulated savings in gold coins equaled millions of dollars and filled a large boat. He divided the money in a very exemplary manner, which should be followed by devotees in particular, and by humanity in general. 50% of his accumulated wealth was distributed to Krishna-conscious persons, namely Brahmins and Vaishnavas. 25% was distributed to relatives, and 25% was kept against emergency expenditures and personal difficulties. Later on, when Sakir Malik also proposed to retire, the Nawab was very much agitated and put him into jail. But Sakir Malik, who was later to become Srila Sanatan Goswami, took advantage of his brother's personal money, which had been deposited with a village banker, and escaped from the prison of Hussain Shah. In this way, both brothers joined Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami later met Lord Chaitanya at Prayag, Allahabad, India, and on the Dashvamedha bathing ghat of that holy city, the Lord instructed him continually for 10 days. The Lord particularly instructed Rupa Goswami on the science of Krishna consciousness. These teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada are narrated in our book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Later, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada elaborated the teachings of the Lord with profound knowledge of revealed scriptures and authoritative references from various Vedic literatures. Srila Srinivasacharya described in his prayers to the 6 Goswamis that they were all highly learned scholars, not only in Sanskrit, but also in foreign languages such as Persian and Arabic. They very scrutinizingly studied all the Vedic scriptures in order to establish the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the authorized principles of Vedic knowledge. The present Krishna consciousness movement is also based on the authority of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. We are therefore generally known as Rupanugas, or followers in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. It is only for our guidance that Srila Rupa Goswami prepared his book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is now presented in the form of the Nectar of Devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Those last few paragraphs are very familiar. They're directly from the Nectar of Devotion. It might be from the introduction to the Nectar of Devotion, or the very first chapter, but that's taken directly from Prabhupada's summary study of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The next little section, I believe, is also taken directly, and the title of the section is, What is Bhakti Yoga? Bhakti Yoga means devotional service. Every service has some attractive feature that drives the servitor progressively on and on. Every one of us within this world is perpetually engaged in some sort of service, and the impetus for such service is the pleasure we derive from it. Driven by affection for his wife and children, a family man works day and night. A philanthropist works in the same way for love of the greater family, and a nationalist for the cause of his country and countrymen. That force which drives the philanthropist, the householder, and the nationalist is called ras, or a kind of mellow, a relationship whose taste is very sweet. Bhakti ras is a mellow different from the ordinary ras enjoyed by mundane workers. Mundane workers labor very hard day and night in order to relish a certain kind of ras that is understood as sense gratification. The relish or taste of the mundane ras does not long endure. And therefore, mundane workers are always apt to change their position of enjoyment. A businessman is not satisfied by working the whole week. Therefore, wanting a change for the weekend, he goes to a place where he tries to forget his business activities. Then, after the weekend is spent in forgetfulness, he again changes his position and resumes his actual business activities. Material engagement means accepting a particular status for some time and then changing it. The position of changing back and forth is technically known as Bhoga Tyaga, which means a position of alternating sense enjoyment and renunciation. A living entity cannot steadily remain either in sense enjoyment or in renunciation. Change is going on perpetually, and we cannot be happy in either state, because our eternal constitutional position. Sense gratification does not endure for long, and is therefore called chapala sukha, or flickering happiness. For example, an ordinary man who works very hard day and night and is successful in giving comforts to the members of his family, thereby relishes kind of mellow. But his whole advancement of material happiness immediately terminates along with his body as soon as his life is over. Death is therefore taken as a representative of God for the atheistic class of men. The devotee realizes the presence of God by devotional service, whereas the atheist realizes the presence of God in the shape of death. At death, everything's finished. One has to begin a new chapter of life in a new situation, perhaps higher or lower than the last one. In any field of activity, political, social, national, or international, the result of our actions will be finished at the end of life. That's sure. Bhakti Ras, however, the mellow relished in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, does not finish with the end of life. It continues perpetually and is therefore called Amrita, that which does not die but exists eternally. This is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. The Bhagavad Gita says that a little advancement in Bhakti Ras can save the devotee from the greatest danger, that of missing the opportunity to be a human being in the next life. The rasas derived from our feelings in social life, family life, or in the greater family life of altruism, philanthropy, nationalism, socialism, communism, etc., do not guarantee that one's next life will be as a human. We prepare our next life by our actual activities in the present life. A living entity is offered a particular type of body as a result of his action in the present body. These activities are taken into account by a superior authority known as Daiva, or the authority of God. This Daiva is explained in the Bhagavad Gita as the prime cause of everything. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that a man takes his next body by Daiva Netrena, which means by the supervision of the authority of the Supreme. In an ordinary sense, Daiva is explained as destiny. Daiva supervision gives us a body selected from 8,400,000 species. The choice does not depend on our selection, but is awarded to us according to our destiny. If our body at present is engaged in the activities of Krishna consciousness, then it is guaranteed that we will have at least a human body in our next life. A human being engaged in Krishna consciousness, even if unable to complete the course of Bhakti Yoga, takes birth in the higher divisions of human society so that he can automatically further his advancement in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, all bona fide activities in Krishna consciousness are amrita, or permanent. This is the subject matter of the Nectar of Devotion. All right. Krishna. All right. I'm counting on that. Get a better, another chance next time to make some more advancement. I'm counting on that. I really am. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sri Gaura Bhaktavinda, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Bol.